Hey, everybody. Welcome to Impossible Live. Welcome back if you're joining us again. I am so delighted that we have America's Supermom in the house. Now, for those of you who have not had the privilege of meeting LaChelle Adkins, the universe sent her, woman with mad skills. And I will not let you know the number of children she still has with her at home at the moment. We will save some goodies for LaChelle to tell you. But LaChelle's the perfect person to explore reflections with and to explore returns on opportunities with. And I just want to thank her for being in our world. And without further ado, as you're popping in, whether you're on LinkedIn or you're on Facebook or you're on a YouTube replay, whether you're live, just let us know how you're doing, where you're from, where you're joining us from. And we'd love to just welcome you. And without further ado, let us give amazing LaChelle the chance to introduce herself.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Mel. I'm so excited to be here. And one of my philosophies is there are just no excuses to stop you from what you have on your schedule or things that you desire to do in life. Hence, I'm in my car right now and doing an interview with sunglasses on because it's bright out here. But I say that to say that sometimes you just have to get uncomfortable to share and do the things that you have on your calendar. So I'm downtown Atlanta. My daughter, I have one who commutes to college and she doesn't like driving in Atlanta traffic. So I'm the unpaid Uber driver. And so I have a mobile office, and I was thinking, it's a nice day. I want to be out in the park, and there's just a lot going on at the park, on campus, and just a lot of noise with sirens and the stuff like that. So, needless to say, I'm in my car, but I'm really glad to be here. My name is LaChelle, also known as America's Supermom, mother of 15 children, and I am a chaos crusher. I help you navigate through the chaos and overwhelm of everyday life and transform it into confidence and clarity with a smile. So I'm excited to be here today, excited for our topic, and back to you.
I'm just smiling because I really love that LaChelle is a chaos crusher. Boy, do we need that mad superpower skill in our universe. So I hope you're training a nation of super moms, to go do that. And just like you say, in terms of being flexible, I was laughing today because talking with someone about tech. Hey, Kimberly Lechnick. Hey, Cassandra Terry. Thanks and welcome, and thanks for coming back to come in and check us out. And let us know, Kimberly and Cassandra, what you have going on too, so that we can help you share that and spread those seeds too. I love it because you're really reminding us that it's about presence, and this leads on to a conversation. I jumped on stage in a Twitter space earlier this morning. Not something I normally do, but as a mental fitness coach, I love plugging into Angie Alexander and her gems. She's kind of the person who turned me on to mental fitness, and cool way to, just like you said, reset the week, the gray day. Knew I needed some internal sunshine and just a chance to plug in. But I love what LaChelle said about Chaos Crusher, because I think, hi Marcia, how are you? Welcome back, and we're looking forward to popping into your audio room tonight. So let everybody know about that. Or if you're skipping a week and you're popping in next Monday too. But I think one of the things, as we'd say in terms of returns on opportunities, returns are things that we measure. We have different ways to measure them. We have different systems of measuring them because they're based on different goals, or something we're reaching for. But I love just speaking with you about opportunities because we have two choices. We can embrace them, we can welcome them. Some seem to demand them, others invite them. So I love as, we're talking about those, and you've got an amazing, amazing network on a wide variety of platforms, as well as a beautiful, wonderful family. Where should we start in terms of how we measure them or where we look for opportunities? What would you suggest?
Well, I love the whole thing because I used to say vitality coach. That's the term for what I say I do. But people sometimes they can't identify with certain words, and I've kind of go through that myself, because they just create a mindset around a belief or anything like that. And I think when you are really able to be present, the opportunities are everywhere, right? You can embrace that and you can notice things that you normally wouldn't notice. If I'm distracted about, a report or an interview that I'm going to do, I may not be present with somebody in front of me who is looking a little off. Maybe they're sad or they're stressed. And so I don't pick up on that because I'm so engaged in what I have going on that I don't even notice that. And the same thing happens as a parent. You're so busy thinking about work, how you're going to make it till payday or whatever. Your kids are in front of you and you don't even notice anything's wrong because your mind is somewhere else. And so I think when we're able to be present, we're able to see some opportunities to connect with people, to see where they need help that we simply could do to really kind of help us feel better about what we're doing and how we serve just simply by being present. So I think that's the first thing is that they're all around us, but we're just not abreast of it. I remember I have these rooms with Paul, and Paul is on LinkedIn, and he's 26 and I'm 52. And so I one day I was just thinking, man, if I had been in your shoes at your age, I would be so much further along. And then I thought about it and I'm like, I had those opportunities. I just wasn't listening, right? The people were around me telling me all I needed to know. I just wasn't listening. So I think if we learn to get ourselves back in order of really being present, I think that's where we'll see a lot more opportunities.
Mm, I love that. And you're so reminding me, whether it's in a personal situation, whether it's a professional situation, whether it's in a discovery call, an onboarding call, really, no matter where we are. I think, as you reminds me of presence, I've been really conscious recently of something I call sustainable energy. It's been a gift for me out of the mental fitness practice. And at the same time, have to make sure the source of that sustainable energy never burns out. That kind of giving from your saucer, not from the cup.
Hmm.
And in the process, I really dialed back this month. And I'm grateful. I kind of really understood why this weekend,
Hmm.
as I had some rare opportunities for some great naps and some deep conversations with family members, friends, new clients that I'm not sure I would have had the space for if I hadn't dialed back to really focus on it. So I love what you're saying about presence, because for years I helped other people plug their energy leaks
Hmm.
and their drains without really identifying or sharing mine. And, Marcia's saying it also, that she wasn't listening either,
Hmm.
and felt that she'd been further along in many aspects of her life. I think the thing about that I'm starting to realize is I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I
Hmm.
wasn't supposed to be any place else other than exactly where I am. The reminder,
Amen.
like thanking people, whether it's on LinkedIn for meeting people at a certain time, or thanking somebody for what they're sharing with us, or how they showed up, to find it and discover that there's something in it that we need. I think that's becoming one of the opportunities also. And we don't necessarily see the gift in it, you know? Mental
Mm-hmm.
fitness in mental fitness coaching, they're always talking about finding the gift or finding the opportunity or finding the knowledge. And I really can appreciate and separate that. But I think the returns part, we don't measure stuff for sometimes for a long period of time. I did a master class last month for my beta course that I'm releasing, and it was on strategies on how to monetize with transparencies. And one of the people who showed up, I had met 17 months before,
Mm-hmm.
and her invitation to connect was sitting in my LinkedIn messages. And I finally looked at it the day before my masterclass when somebody reminded me, your mailbox is filled with opportunities. It's filled with people knocking on your door. It's filled with people ringing your bell. It's whether we answer it, we embrace them, or we disregard them.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate it because somebody really reminded me of the etiquette. But
Mm-hmm.
this wonderful woman showed up with grace and patience. And we had met each other, last spring.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a reminder that what we look at as an opportunity, we have to really frame it somehow or get some support framing it. Grateful for great coaches like yourself and thought leaders who are like, oh, here's a new way to kind of look at this, because I don't think we really are measuring it long enough. This was a presentation I gave. Hey, Misha, how are you? Thanks for popping in. This is and welcome to Impossible Live. Thanks for joining us. I think, we don't really see it, measure it, or feel that we're framing it. And I think that's something I really learned from you, because LaChelle and I met in a group that at the time had about 300,000 members. And I loved it because I popped in last night to your LinkedIn audio with Eric, and he was mentioning your interview with Dr. Ivan Meisner of BNI. And I'm grateful because LaChelle had shared that. I'm glad. Oh, Misha, we love that you're doing amazing. We love fantastic energy. Thank you for bringing it to us on the back end. But I love that you mentioned you were reading a book by Ivan Miser because you were about to interview him.
Mm-hmm.
I never would have thought that asking one question would have brought an opportunity to connect with somebody like you. So I have to thank you. Not only that, it reminds me, we need to talk to Laquita Parks about when the book club starts.
Yeah. So true. And I mean, bringing up, I mean, so many things that I'm over here. I'm on my phone. So I'm holding a tripod and then I'm thinking I have another phone. I'm trying to put my notes down so I don't forget what to say. But I think, even what you're mentioning is, how many groups are we a part of? Right? We're in these groups. Are we engaging? That alone, just going through and commenting on the question of the day or whatever they have already in the group is a great way to get some of those returns. And another thing is, now this just happened yesterday or the day before, the days go together. But someone in my network reached out to me, sent me a personal message, and he was like, hey, I noticed that I wanted to connect with this person and they're connected to you. Can you introduce us? And so I said, I looked at the name and it didn't look familiar. So I clicked on it. They have 82,000 followers on LinkedIn. I've never met them. And so I reached out to the person and I said, someone in my network wants to meet you. However, we haven't met. So I would love to hop on a call with you and, get to know you and see how you would like me to make that connection. So I haven't heard back yet, but he messaged me back and I sent him a message. I said, this is great. I said, I've never connected with this person. So as soon as I hear back from them and how they want me to connect you, I'll be in touch. And he had said that someone else in his network connected him with the person. But my point is, if he had never reached out, I would have never thought to even reach out to this person, you know? And the things that she's doing is in alignment with what I am all about. So I'm excited about it. So I just think, again, following up, engaging in the things that you choose to engage in, you know, do that full speed ahead. Because I think sometimes we just get involved in some of these things and we don't stay committed to it. Right. And so I think that's part of it too.
I love what you're saying there. And welcome, Ronnie Cyrus Jackson. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to our Impossible Live. And what I love what you're saying is sometimes we don't stay curious. There's
Hmm.
too much stuff happening in our world, in our lives, too many distractions, too many other things going on. Saturday, I had some Mel time, some me time, quite unexpectedly. It was supposed to be date night, and some friends called. They had one ticket to the Mets game, so I kind of laid low and chilled out. In the process, I really had some time just to like get centered. I really appreciated it, and I kind of really was in a gratitude mode. And then the phone started ringing, and it had been a weekend where we're discovering friends and extended family are about to celebrate others' lives. So it was one of those weekends, kind of a real serious time. And I appreciate it because friends have mentioned before, I talk about extended seasons of gratitude, grief, and growth, and really trying to lean into the gratitude that we had an opportunity to meet some of the exceptional people that people have introduced us to think of the warm memories. And when I got a call on Saturday, I was kind of having trouble thinking of a warm memory. I had a conversation with my aunt about it yesterday, and she says, I always have to look for the good. To me, the opportunity is to find the good, to embrace the good, to embrace something that was a gift in there. Find that silver lining. And I was sharing with her news about someone's passing who she hasn't seen in almost 3 decades.
Hmm.
And, she says, I remember her at a time when we were both young moms. And that became her opportunity to reflect and find something really positive. And it caused me finally to really, when I searched through it, to remember my cousin's wedding. And we had played catch the day before. And I was the nut who didn't even realize it. I caught the most game without even stretching, not the tallest person, not necessarily my arm just went out. I had been playing catch. And I remember that because my cousin's bouquet was silk flowers. And I remember having a conversation with my aunt, and it became a chance for a warm memory. So I love what you're saying about opportunities, whether they're spiritual, whether they're a chance to just discover something with some more awareness. But I think if I hadn't had an extended period of time where I was alone, I don't think I would have gotten to that place.
And I think that is so good. And I love what you said about finding the good. See, this is the real reality about what's going on. Um, to me, chaos is the norm, peace is the unusual. You know, a lot
Mm,
of times
mm, mm.
when we go through life, we're just like, we're setting ourselves up for false um, outcomes because it's not going to be peace. You have to create the peace, right? You have to create the moments that are not normal, so to speak. And they come with work. And so, knowing that, you will be able to say, you know what, it may be a crazy time. I think back to the pandemic. I had 13 kids at home. My husband worked out of state and I'm on lockdown with these kids. I'm trying to build a business, and they're at school, and all of us at one time. Then I'm filming stuff, for a TV show, just crazy. But the point was, I had to say, okay, we're going to build some peace in this situation. My kids would get dressed up, and I'm thinking, we're on lockdown. Where are you going? And they would say, oh, club living room, because they made these different places in the house, right?
Oh, that's wonderful.
I mean, they had like one day they did s'mores and they had the music going, lights, because my son has one of those lights you plug in and it's neon with the different colors. They're on the patio doing s'mores with the little fire pit, having a party, So you have to create these opportunities. That's why a morning routine, a nighttime routine, whatever, these systems and habits are important because that helps you to navigate through your own right situation. What are the pockets of time in your day that, even though things may be crazy, the one thing that you can depend on, that you can give yourself, so you can have that peace of mind? If it's reading, if it's exercise, if it's meditating, whatever that looks like. So yeah, I love that you said you have to find the good, because that's true, right? Or create it is what I say. You got to
It
create.
is. It's like searching for treasures, and I still am volunteering to come up and cook for the Atkins clan at any time. And I'm so looking forward to it. I even volunteered to cook and do the dishes. But
Amen.
I love what Ronnie is saying and what Giselle are saying. It's I appreciate what Giselle's saying. You have to create peace, and it comes with work.
Hmm.
And the reminder that the opportunities don't always just pop up on a silver platter.
Right.
They're not just handed to us with grace. I appreciate this has truly been an amazing year of some exceptional opportunities. I think I also realize, as you would say, the energy behind the process of showing up,
Hmm.
to embrace them, to acknowledge them, to admit we seek them out. I'm laughing because this beta course is finally out of the oven in October.
Amen.
And and next week somebody will win some master classes and some beta courses during Be Visible Shift celebration. I'm really excited for that. But at the
Excited.
same time, yeah, right? And you think about it because you're like, it's an opportunity. So next week's an opportunity to reconnect with some people I haven't seen in a while, to
Mm-hmm.
say hi to some we haven't met face to face. We've never had a conversation, to say, hey, come in. Let's raise a glass. Bring your news so we can find, what's new with you. What I love too is LaChelle had a post last week where she tagged Snoop, and somebody reminded me, as I keep showing my vitamin water,
Yeah.
my Coco Loco, I'm looking to meet 50 Cent one day,
There you
you
go.
know?
There you
So, it's and maybe it isn't that the opportunity will present itself. Maybe someone will create it, or they'll help us take steps towards it. But I appreciate that, because when Jen Frank Sagatu came up with her Black Woman World Record recently, and it's a community that she's continuing
go.
because they established a world record, and in 2024 she's looking to top it again.
Mm-hmm.
And just that process of creating and saying, wow, to come up with an initiative where you ended up with 1.5 million eyes on something, on a project, on a dream, on a goal. Just, I think if we don't put it out there that
Mm-hmm.
we're seeking those kind of connections, those kind of introductions, those kind of collaborations, to really be careful consciously as we select, as we onboard new team members, as
Mm-hmm.
we welcome guests, collaborators, into our networks, into, our events. I love how LaChelle does it because LaChelle, if you haven't had a chance, you got to check LaChelle out because LaChelle is now greeting you in English and in Spanish. And I loved it because she told us why. And hey, I want to learn Spanish. It's been on my bucket list for a while. I have two clients who can tell you that it's been on for a very long time. But I love it because you're greeting people through a wider lens.
Mhm.
And and you really defined it as an opportunity. So what in the world inspired you to learn Spanish?
I think one, I just hate not knowing what people are saying. Right. And so, one of the things that I love in these rooms that we have, the audio rooms on LinkedIn or Clubhouse, is that, a lot of my growth comes from hearing everybody else's perspective. And it really just would bug me how, if someone had a language barrier, one, they didn't even want to come on stage. And they're always what they would say is, my English is not good. But it's like, wow, you just missed out on an opportunity to hear their perspective. And everybody to me teaches me something. And so, that frustration of even just trying to help people to feel comfortable enough to be vulnerable, um it's the best thing to be able to do that, because people can open up and they can really learn about themselves when they do that. It's not about me and what I'm doing, but it's about other people learning about themselves. And so that language barrier it just was uncomfortable for me. And I felt like there was like a wall between them really being able to express or understand. So I'm still in the beginning phases, but it's so funny because I can just have a greeting and it just melts that wall away. Right? I can feel it. If I just greet them in their native tongue, they are just like over the moon about it. And I was in one room and I was saying something because I'm in all kind of rooms, right? Because I got all kind of kids. They all got different personalities, so I'm like, I like going different places so I can learn about my kids. But anyway, um I was in one room and so I was saying something and the guy said, you even have an accent with your Spanish. And I'm thinking, what? How can I have an accent? But it's just a reminder that everybody is unique. We all have a signature. So it doesn't matter if we're saying what somebody else is saying, right? We could say the same thing, but we have something unique about us, the energy and all these things. So, yeah, I just thought that was funny. He told me I had an accent in Spanish.
I absolutely love it. And I agree. I think what he's hearing also, and I love it because I could feel it just by engaging with you online in a group.
Hmm.
You take exceptional care in everything you do.
Mm.
And that care, that courtesy, that welcome, that signature, let's call it a signature LaChelle style. I think it just comes up. It's part of the rhythm or the beat and the fun part of just hanging with you. And it'll always continue, I think, to help you open doors because you don't see it. We get a chance to enjoy it.
Mhm.
I think it's also part of the pace and the rhythm. You are, as Misha says, you're letting others know they're heard and they're seen,
Mhm.
and you're letting them know you kind of feel them too. It's a beautiful way to help open new doors, and I think that's a fantastic way to to frame opportunities, not
Mhm.
just from the diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging piece,
Yeah.
but from that global piece of we want to really feel like we're part of. I think of it as today's a day where people are meeting at the United Nations, whatever your feelings are about how we come together on global stages. I remember them because It was mom in the process of studying as a teacher, always had to go to the city for a test, a resource, or a library. And I would see the UN and appreciated the globe, the openness, the sitting in the General Assembly when they let you in and you could play with the little knobs of the languages. I remember my poor mom because when I sat in that seat, I wasn't moving soon because you could keep turning in different, listening to different languages over and over and over. And I found it fascinating. So I think the opportunity of connecting with others and hearing their experiences, their voices, like you're saying. And I love what you're saying about stories are helping you stay in touch with what's happening with your wonderful children.
Mhm.
And at the same time, I think you're reminding us to really show up differently in a conversation when we're engaging with others, when we're just connecting with others. People don't think of it, it's kind of helping somebody open a door or helping somebody find a path or find their way, find their rhythm. You've been really instrumental in my life in helping me with that at a time when I was starting to feel there were a lot less doors. So I really appreciate you from that perspective. Tell us too what's happening in the LaChelle opportunities. You've got your television station is expanding on a new global level. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that's so exciting. It's a work in progress. I love it. The new things of being able to build and collaborate with other people. So I do have my own show. That's Real Life Without Excuses on Zandra TV Network. And I now have a micro channel that I call Keep It Real TV. So that means that I have now 12 spots for show hosts to have their own show on the network, and they have 24 episodes that they can have per show. So if there's anybody who has a podcast or they have a special message or any kind of series that they're doing on YouTube or some of these other places, they're able to have it on the network and monetize it. Because a lot of times we're doing this work and we're not getting the exposure. You can be on YouTube, you can be on social media, but you're limited with your content that you own to whatever they decide to show or who they decide to put it in front of. Whereas on the network, we have 350 million viewers. And so you can begin to leverage that ability to be there with sponsorships or commercials and things that can help you to further to build your business and expand your message through different ways, to give you the opportunity to travel, to, write books and be a part of different events that can continue to propel your business forward. So I'm excited because the 12 shows are people that I'm looking for people that want to build with me. I am going to be offering them coaching to where we would have that weekly so that we can continue to build each other up and just be able to work on personal development and things that normally would stop us. I really am interested in having a global set of shows. So, not just United States, I would love to have people from different countries talking about different topics that can help to empower us because I want it to be a direct reflection of the world. So people with different walks of life and cultures, and just helping us to navigate through the world that we're living in. So that's pretty much what I've got going on.
That's fantastic. Somewhere in there, I think there's another book coming.
Yeah. So I have another book that's coming out October 12th. She said yes. So Ronnie, you said was on. Kimberly Lechnick is in it. Um, and so we're all about empowering women. It's an empowerment guide. And one of the things that I love about the visionary Chanel is that she is creating multiple streams of income for the authors. So not just being in a book, but opportunities to be a part of summits and other products that she's going to be releasing throughout our journey and collaboration. So yeah.
That sounds fantastic. That sounds fantastic. So, in terms of real TV and in
Mhm.
terms of LaChelle, I know you also have a lot of lives that are going on. Are you doing something new regularly or seasonally, that we should be aware of, that we can pop up and support? Because
Yeah.
you almost had me up at 6:30 one Monday morning to join you
Yeah.
live. Hey
Yeah.
Cheryl, welcome, love.
I was doing yeah, I do these weekly calls on Clubhouse. We have actually a book club that we started. Kimberly Lechnick, who's on, she's leading it. It's Atomic Habits. We're doing that book. And then Sunday, I have a weekly room and we talk about our intentions for the week. And so the topic changes every week and we come together and have a great discussion about it. So those two are on Clubhouse, and then on Fridays on LinkedIn, I have a room that's called a weekend strategy masterclass. So we kind of go into what the week was like, and it's really designed for us to reflect on how our week went, so that the things that didn't serve us in the week, that we immediately talk about it and get rid of it. Because I found just in my own journey, I will talk about stuff and keep doing it. Every week it's the same story. I need to do this earlier. I talk about it like with Christmas. I think we're like 98 days till Christmas. Every year, I'm not going to wait till the last minute and do X. And then what are we doing? Waiting to the last minute and doing X. So it's sometimes, really learning how to reframe your words so that your behavior lines up with what you want rather than what you don't want. So we have this room on Fridays at 9 a.m. It's an audio room with Brian Smart. He's the Mr. Content. So he talks to us about how we can be strategic with our content, leverage it, and things of that nature.
I have to thank you because I've started tuning into that. I really appreciate it. I had a chance to tune in yesterday. Really, a one last week, a wonderful kind of reframe,
Hmm.
to just pop in and look at things from a different angle. But I love that you're just really sharing your voice in such a wonderful way. I say it all the time. We need people to brighten our fragile world, and greatly appreciate you and that light that you're sharing there. And also want to thank you for inspiring me. LaChelle, I'm finally going to host a LinkedIn audio.
Yeah.
And you know, and LaChelle sponsoring our LinkedIn Live next week as part of our Be Visible Shift celebration, which is I just really want to thank you, America's Supermom Company, for your incredible support, because I would not have tried a room on Clubhouse if it wasn't for you.
Yeah,
You know,
you're amazing. I mean the way that you're very present with people as well. And one of the things that I say is you're the best connector I know, because you're and you have a way of including everybody into the conversation. That's the skill, because I even struggle with that when I'm on these broadcasts, and people are doing comments, and then I am like, I gotta focus on one thing because I'll go off on a tangent with a comment somebody made. So I love how you make it seem easy, right?
I have to thank the parents for that. Mom was one of seven, dad was
Yeah.
one of four. There were a lot of aunts and uncles around to remind you to pay attention. Couple of sets of grandparents. I had grandparents. I had bonus grandparents. Very grateful for them. And one of Dad's aunts had 11 children. So the
Wow.
opportunity in family, they taught us young to
Yeah.
keep paying attention to who was coming in the room. And mom's a teacher. Pay attention to who's raising their hand. Pay attention who's passing, because I love it, because sometimes people will say in an audio room or in a video room, however many people came passing through the room, we are all looking at different things. I'm the kid who's always looking at the window and the door. I
Mhm.
used to be claustrophobic at these events. I had to know where the door was, how to get out, where the
Mhm.
window was, because occasionally we were going to need a little bit of air, because it could get kind of warm in there during live events. But the reminder really to keep an eye on ways to help others kind of build communities.
Mhm.
And I laugh because as I'm expanding my team, someone said to me, they said, "Oh, when you met people." I said, I've been tracking that for years in my head. When I meet someone for the first time, I see a color behind them. So it's a
Mhm.
reminder. People have all these Zoom backgrounds and virtual rooms. I never forget them. Somebody may be wearing an amazing color, your favorite color that you love. And I'm grateful for that. A Dale Carnegie course taught us from the beginning, just out of college, how to remember names. So, and whenever you have a chance, and it's one of the reasons why people laugh. I'll have a virtual room, and I'm like, "Oh, unmic, turn on your mic." We want to hear your dogs, your cats, your children, life.
Yeah.
LaChelle was worried today about background sound. Life happens, and I think just to be aware of the good people who are popping in and just maybe passing by. We don't know if we'll see them again. We
Mhm.
don't know if they'll, leave another comment, they'll raise a hand. I was the professional lurker on
Mhm.
social media. And it's taken amazing people like LaChelle remind me, raise your hand. Let others know you're here. You're
Mhm.
here, that you hear them, and at the same time, grateful for my amazing coach Cheryl, who's popping in, and welcome back. And hey, Erica, thanks for popping in. But I'd love in the process, as we're talking, opportunities, I think sometimes are followed by what one of my coaches taught me was calls to connect, or
Mhm.
calls to follow. And if we think of opportunities as a way to reach in, as and I thank you so much, Giselle. Giselle's talking about how much we celebrate each other. Let me tell you, Giselle, I celebrate this wonderful woman every single day. I'm so grateful for her, and
Mhm.
grateful her family lets her share her talents with us and her wonderful voice. And Giselle, seriously, check out LaChelle on a zillion other platforms. There is no place you can't find her. There are podcasts. There is a YouTube channel. She got Facebook pages. She got LinkedIn pages. She's got Zandra TV.
Mhm.
I'm missing something else. What else? What else we
Uh,
have?
Instagram,
Clubhouse. I
TikTok,
miss.
Clubhouse.
Yep, Elephant Strategy Club. You will
Mhm.
find LaChelle everywhere, and I'm grateful, because boy, do we need her and her amazing energy.
Well, and I think also, I think the whole thing too is, it's the people that you connect with. I can't say that enough, because so often, um, what we do is we think we have to do it by ourselves. So, I was completing the last part of my book. I'm texting my daughter. She's texting me real quick. But anyway, um, I was just thinking that, you just can't do it by yourself. So I was raised as an only child. So I had this mindset that, hey, if it's got to be, it's up to me. Just I can do it. I want to get the credit and all this. And one day I was just going through this meditation reflection, and God told me that, you believe that Jesus died on the cross for everybody. And I said, yeah. He said, so if he had 12 disciples, what makes you think you could do it by yourself? So that was humbling, right? So I think when you connect with people, it just makes it so much easier, because you don't have to be responsible for all this stuff. you're able to have fun, to enjoy it. I just know, like, a lot of times when I reflect on my depression state, I was always just like, I'm the only one who cares. I'm the only one doing this. I'm the only one doing whatever. And it was kind of, even though you're making it, you're recognizing good things, it sounded like you were complaining, you know, and just not grateful. So I've learned that I can always be grateful when I'm connected to people because I don't have to do it all, and it gives everybody something to contribute. So I think it's being with the right people. And I don't want to say, making a judgment about somebody being right or wrong, but I just think the energy matters and the intention, because we all are not perfect, but it is being with people who are intentional about learning, about growing, about sharing, about helping. That's what matters.
That is so wonderfully well said. And Giselle's letting you know in the chat, and you'll check it out later. She'd love to check you out and love to be on your television station talking about medical travel. Giselle just won a fantastic award for her company also. So when you have a chance later,
Yeah.
check through her profile. Yep, you know, it's it's an honor, and I love that she's helping people pay more attention to healthcare, and she's
Mhm.
looking to build more partnerships in the US and in Canada.
Okay.
I am so delighted that we had a chance to reconnect with you for more than a few minutes. Thank you, beautiful family, for letting you out to play today. I know, and the busy mom on a college campus, and as we said, the opportunity
Yeah.
just to catch up. So thank you so much. And to
Oh,
those of you joining us live for the first time or on replays, thank you for spending a little bit of time with us today. Please feel free to share this with somebody you know who can benefit from learning more about LaChelle's Gems or returns on opportunities. And we're looking forward to seeing you again soon. Stay safe, stay cool, stay well, stay inspired, and stay in touch. And take great care. Have a magnificent day filled with possibilities and opportunities. Thanks
bye.
again, Michelle.